Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to today's episode. As you can see in my eyes, I've got a ring light over behind me. I'm not too sure. I thought I would just shoot one video and see how it looks. But welcome to my channel. My name is Carolyn, and my goal here is to inspire you, to motivate you, to get you to look at things just a wee bit differently, all on a journey to creating a simple life for yourself. And so today the story continues about my life in Romania, because I recently posted a video. Oh, before I forget, I want to apologize. Yesterday, I was not well, and I thought maybe I had caught COVID. So I went to the doctor this morning, and everything is cool. So that's a good thing. But recently, I digress. Recently, I did a video. I posted a video about the time that I spent living in Bucharest, Romania, and I will put that link below. But I got a lot of feedback from people, from subscribers and non-subscribers, and why aren't you subscribing? But I got a lot of feedback from a lot of women and men saying, well, will you tell us some more of your adventures and your stories? And so today, that's what this video is all about. I've got one event that took place that really had put a shift in my mindset about how I should live differently. So that's what this video is about. But before I start, I must say that I want to set the scene. And this was before I went off to Eastern Europe, way back when. It was many years ago. Clearly, I remember those years. But I love lipsticks. I loved them then. I love them now. I don't have as many now as I did then, but I really, really like them, love them. And I had an obsession with them. I had a lot of lipsticks, and they were not just typical ones that you got at the drugstore. Some of them were, but most of them were designer brands, like Chanel and these ones at Clarins. And I did have an assortment of others, but mainly the higher end ones. The lipsticks, even at that time, that were so expensive that you probably could feed a family for several days on what I was spending on one lipstick. Now that's all I'm saying. And I used to buy lipsticks when I was happy, when I was sad, when something didn't go right in work, when something didn't go right at home. And if I was looking through a magazine, remember those magazines? If I was looking through Vogue and I saw this lovely shade of lipstick, I would have to buy it. The fact that it was on a 14-year-old and her skin color was completely different to mine, I had to have it. And I bought tons of lipstick, and I liked the way they made me feel. I liked the way they smelled. I still do that. Give me a Dior lipstick, lovely. But I love the way they smelled. I love the way they made me feel. I just loved everything about it. I loved the fancy case. I loved when I was out and about and I whipped out this a lipstick. It was just ridiculous. Excuse me, forgot to switch off the phone. There we go. And so I just loved everything about that lipstick. I loved everything about it. And as I said, it was an obsession. I apologize for looking down, but like previous video, I have notes because I just don't want to miss anything, the point of this. So back to my journey into Romania. And I spent a lot of time by myself while Shabaro was going out working. And this one particular day, I was bored and I was by myself. So I thought, let me go over and look at my lipsticks, my collection, the ones that I had taken all across the Atlantic and spent a lot of time and a lot of money getting them. So I actually sat down on the bed. I can clearly remember it. I sat down and I looked through my collection of lipsticks. And I thought, well, I'll keep this one. I won't keep that one. I'll keep this one. I won't keep that one. And I had a whole collection of lipsticks that meant absolutely nothing to me. So in this bag, put the coat on, put the hat on, put the boots on, and down the 4 flights of stairs to the dumpster. And it was near the area that I described in the previous video about where people collected milk. And I'm going to transpose this and put this on the blog. And I've got a picture of that, and I'll put that in that blog post for you, and I'll link it below. But anyway, I went down the stairs, all bundled up with this bag of lipsticks, took it to the dumpster or the tip, and I just threw it in because I thought, well, I'm not going to use them, and they're no use, so I'll just get rid of them. So I threw them in and then turned around and came back, walked up the 4 flights of stairs, and then that was me for the day. And then later on in the day, what happened was I was going to go swimming. And as I mentioned, I didn't drive, and there's a reason why I didn't drive, but I didn't drive. So my driver came and took me to a nice hotel where I swam, and I swam quite a lot. But as we were driving out of this area, this suburb of Bucharest, I noticed where I actually had dumped the lipsticks, the bag of lipsticks, I noticed the plastic bag that they were all in was on the floor. So I immediately said to the driver, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. I want to see what's going on. So I got out of the car and went to look at the bag, which was discarded on the floor next to the milk place, and everything in the bag, all the lipsticks, maybe there were 20, maybe there were 30, there might have even been more, but all the lipsticks in the bag were gone. And that really, really surprised me. And I didn't think about it further until later on, but somebody had been watching me, or somebody had walked by and looked into the dumpster, saw a bag that was not familiar to them, and lifted it out and took everything. And that very lesson, that very event really was the start of me really trying to understand why I needed so much, why we need so much, because I had just thrown everything out. It meant nothing to me. And to somebody else, it was of value. For me, as a Westerner, I had no regard for money because I just threw it away, $20, $30 a pop. I had no value on a concept of the time that it took me to earn that money, because I did earn the money, and probably some of them were on credit cards. So I paid way out of what I should have paid for them. I had no regard for the space that this took in my head, having all this stuff, not only the physical stuff, but the mental stuff, because it does clog your mind. And so that was such a big, big lesson, because when I stepped back and thought about it, these Romanians, they didn't have the opportunity to throw money away, because they were spending their money on food and clothing, and they were spending their money just by getting by. And not only that, they didn't have the opportunity to buy these items. Aside from the money, those sort of luxuries did not exist then. I know for a fact that they do now, but they didn't exist then. And so that whole episode, that whole event taught me so much. And it made me understand that I and you, and that's the moral of what I'm trying to say, we really, really need to understand what is important to us and what we value. And if we are shopping just for the sake of shopping, are we bored? And I've talked about this before. What is our reason for buying? And is it really, really necessary to spend money to make ourselves feel good. And in conclusion, I am not saying that to live a simple life, to live a life, a minimalist life after you're 50, is being cheap or frugal. That is far from my message. My message is you just really need to see what's important to you. And it's not about being cheap. Far from it. It's just valuing, it's just having gratitude in a different way. And I hope that I have explained this well, and that you understand this message and this ranting. But next to my caregiving, that those months, nearly a year spent in Romania was probably the most influential on me and taught me so much. And that ultimately is why I'm doing this. I'm presenting this information to you, this concept, this ideas. I'm trying to motivate you to think a little bit differently, and so that it will lead you down your path, and a path, hopefully your path, to leading a simple life. That's it. I have said my piece today. If you any thoughts, let me just read here. I like Lily too. Yes, I know. It becomes overwhelming, and we forget why. And so I hope that this message resonates with you. If it does, please let me know in the comment box below. I do have more stories if you want to hear them, like why I didn't drive. Um, but I wish everyone a good day for sure. And stay well, stay safe. And until my next video, toodles, everyone. Bye.